we're going to start because we have a whole year to cover today, right? We're going to talk about 2019. So I hope everyone's settling in nicely and able to hear me and see me beautifully. If you want to use the chat window, please do so. Hi, Lisa. And I'm going to take us to the next slide already. Let's go right here. Let's see. Okay. So, how many of you are happy that 2018 is over? How many of you have had a rough year? And how many of you are glad it's over? Nobody? Everybody's still excited to be in 2000? Lisa is Amanda? Okay. All right. All right. Thanks for raising your hand. Okay. Now, how many of you have shifted in big ways in 2018? You know, internally, emotionally. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Amanda. Very good. Okay. And by the way, if you're watching this as a recording, you know, feel free to raise your hand at home too, even if you're just watching this as a recording, because you just to participate and be engaged in the conversation, it helps to do that. All right. Now, how many of you are excited about 2019? Want to hear about what it's all about, what it's going to bring for us? Okay. Very good. Amanda. Okay. And then how many of you are not so hopeful about the coming year? How many of you are sort of like, oh no, another year? Going to be more of that crap that I've already been through. Okay, sounds good. All right, well, first of all, before we start diving in, I want to thank you for being here today, this beautiful afternoon or whatever time zone you're in. And thanks for watching the recording. If you're watching this as a recording, I appreciate you taking the time. And for those of you who are completely new to the monthly forecasting forums, I want to say a little bit about myself, which is that I've been an astrologer professionally since 2010. Before then, it's been a huge hobby of mine since the early 90s. So I've been studying and engaging with astrology for a long, long time. And I find it a really wonderful tool, and I love it very much. And I'm really grateful that I'm able to share it with so many people, and that I'm able to share a little bit of what I know so that all of you can benefit. All right, now that's where I keep it today. I guess I could also say I'm originally from Austria, from Vienna, which most of you know already. But I've lived in the United States since 1994. So it's been a long time since I've been in this country, but I still have, you know, certain things that I say or pronounce differently, maybe a little bit than other Americans. There's slight differences in language. So forgive that if that happens, please. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what's on the agenda for today. We're going to look, of course, ahead of the whole year, and we're going to hopefully gain some perspective and, you know, what we can do this year and what's to come, what we're focusing on this year, and sort of like see what, you know, what energies to watch out for and what energies we can get excited about, right? And that will be different from person to person as well. You know, and that's something we're going to also address in this webinar too, depending on, you know, where your own personal energies lie, you know, what houses all these energies are falling into that this year we're engaging with this year. It will be different for each one of us, right? Not everybody's going to have the same experience. But of course, because we're dealing with the whole year, we're probably going to be generalizing a couple of things. You know, we will talk about 2019 in general. And then I will also try and talk a little bit more personal about it for each one of you. I've prepared, you know, for each sign a little bit of something as well. So hopefully that will help. And then, of course, we'll also answer questions at the very end of the webinar as well. So if you have questions, you know, definitely, you know, jot them down on a piece of paper so you can ask me towards the end. If there's anything that you need to ask during the webinar so that you can follow what's going on, or that you can continue watching us, then definitely feel free to ask questions via the chat window during the webinar as well. Now, as most of you know, I can't pull up charts during the webinar because we don't have time for that. But if I have your chart already on file because you're already a client of mine, or because I've done a reading for you before, or you've done the forecasting forum before and you've sent me your birth chart, then I have it right here on my lap, and I will be able to take a look at that if you have questions. If I don't have your birth chart, then please, as best as you can, when you do ask questions, give me the sign, the degree, the house, if you have that, of something that you're asking about in your chart, so that I can get an idea of what I'm responding to, or what I need to respond to. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And then, of course, we'd like to focus questions on what we're covering in this forum. So we want to have questions connected to 2019. Yeah, that's it for now. So let's take a look at. Hold on, what's my next page here? Yeah, so let's take a look at some of the handouts that I sent you via the email that I sent you earlier. Okay, hold on. Oops. Okay, something's not working here. Hold on. Let me just check and see where I need to go here. Okay, I need to go to this here. Okay, there we go. All right, now I can see what you guys are seeing already. All right, so this is the overview of planetary transits for 2019. And I've attached that to the email that I send out for you guys for the link to join the webinar. And this will also be attached to the recording when I send out the recording. So check your email for this handout. This is a handout that I created just like I did last year in 2018. It gives you a detailed description of what's happening each month. And we will take use of that for each month when we do our monthly forecasting forums around the time of the full moon next year. I also have attached a handout that tells you when we have the forecasting forums happening next year in 2019, so you get an idea, so you can schedule ahead of time already, so you know when the live forums are happening, so you can make sure you can join us if that's possible. And then, of course, I also talk about these transits, with the weekly forecasts. I will talk about them in more detail. And so today what we're going to be really focusing on is this part here, which is, just looking at 2019 in general, like seeing what is this year about. And so just in general, if we just had to say a couple of sentences, I would say that, we're certainly taking a look at the Capricorn energy in more detail, in a more conscious way, or we're trying to at least see what's working there for us, what's not working there for us. And we're being invited to release old or rigid ways or habits of doing things, especially when it comes to, our long-term goals, or who we think we want to be in the outside world in terms of our reputation and our status. And so we're being invited to make some solid commitments there as well, but make commitments that are really truthful and in alignment and realistic with ourselves, right? Taking responsibility is key with the Capricorn energy, of course. And then, of course, the name of the game is self-mastery with Capricorn, right? It's all about, focusing on what you have influence over, not on what you can't control. Very often in life we confuse, where we have control and where we don't have control in our lives. And very often we focus on things that we don't have control over. And what that does for us is it makes us feel anxious and it makes us feel disempowered. And so in order for us to feel more grounded in the here and now, more grounded in reality, and more connected to who we truly are, and and also so we can not feel so anxious about life, right? It serves us to focus only on the things that we actually have control over, the things that we actually have influence over. And, you know, all that Capricorn energy that we're experiencing this year, and to some degree also next year, you know, is really inviting us to focus, to be more conscious about that, you know, to focus on where do I have influence, where do I have control, and really stick with that, stay with that, and to not get so invested in the things that we don't have control over. And that's a challenge for humanity in general, I would say, you know, and it's been a challenge for, you know, probably since humanity existed. But it's something that we're now learning to become more conscious about, and that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Now we also have the energy of optimism this year with Jupiter in Sagittarius that is moving things forward a little bit. So because optimism and when we're capable of seeing possibilities in life, that is always really helpful. You know, it can help us to really, you know, kind of like have a more positive outlook and being able to get things done, you know, if we're able to stay open, right? Because the optimism kind of gives us sort of like the ability to be open. And then the other thing is also that you know, Uranus and Chiron are switching signs again this year. Uranus is going to move into Taurus again, and Chiron is going to use into Aries again, where it's been briefly in 2018 already. So we're really looking at building new financial systems, new relationships to our planet, and a new relationship to how we do leadership in general, and our own individual ability to tap into leadership and what that means for us, and how we can have a more human approach to leadership. Not humane, but human, right? Like really allowing ourselves to be human, even if we are a leader, even if we have some form of, you know, something to say to other people. You know, how can we do that from a human place, from a place of allowing ourselves to be human and allowing other people to be human, right? So that's sort of like the general overview of 2019, we could say, right? Now, if we go a little bit more into detail into what 2019 represents to all of us. So if we look at 2019, at some of the important things that are happening in 2019, and I also just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me. I've been moving into the dark because it's already getting dark here at 4 o'clock. So Winter sings, thank you so much for the informative webinar. Happy holidays. Yes, and happy holidays, everybody. Absolutely. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And stay connected as much as you can. I'll be recording the solar eclipse video tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly when I'll be posting it, but it will come out in time before the eclipse. And then Nuko is saying, brilliant forum. Thank you, Sonja. Thank you, Nuko. Denise is saying, thank you. And Amanda is saying, great forum. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for everybody to sticking out, staying in it for so long. I know this is a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I really wanted to make sure that we were able to cover everything. So thanks so much, everybody. And hopefully all of you will be able to join us again on January 15th for the next forum when we talk about the eclipses. All right. Have a good one. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Much love to everybody. Bye-bye.